Mic check 1 2. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me out there? Put sevens in the chat if you can hear me. Put sevens in the chat if you can hear me. All praises. Happy Sabbath. Uh-oh. Sister Barb, she said, I can't wait. Couldn't wait for this topic. You knew we was going to touch it. Can you hear me? Okay, 7-7. All praises. All praises. Yeah, you know we had to touch it. Go into this conflict. All praises, man. Who better to touch it than the elder? Good to see you, Princess Erica. Forgive me if I mispronounce your name, but I'm going to attempt. Rimnat. I think that's Rimnats. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. But shalom to you. Oh, Angel. Oh, okay, Angel. Shalom, Sister Angel. All right, all praises. I didn't know if I pronounced it right. Tomorrow you let me know if I pronounced it right or not. All praises. Oh, okay. I did pronounce it right. Ashar Rawak Yahweh.
1 2 1 2.
Good to see you. All praises. Ashar Rawak Yahweh. Shalom. All right, all praises. Well, we're gonna get started shortly. Or we'll probably just jump in it. Shalom, Gabriel. Saint Ra'ai. What up, Bob? Good to see you in here, man. Good to see you in here, King. Gabriel. Shalom, peace and blessings. Do it, Patton. Shalom, shalom, shalom from Indiana. Shalom, shalom. They saying shalom to you too, Elder.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Blessed Sabbath.
Antoine Smith.
Brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir. Antoine Smith. Shalom, King. All praises. Get a couple more in here. We'll start at the 4-minute mark. We got 10 seconds. Shalom, Princess Erica. Okay. Shalom. We got our reptibles in the building tonight. Got our reptibles in the building tonight. Our day ones in the building. All praises. Good to see everybody. We hope everybody's having a beautiful Sabbath. Thank God for another Sabbath to be here. Shalom, Flo. Shalom, Sister Flo. Charlie Till. Shalom. Shalom from Dallas. Oh, Dallas in the building. Real quick. Charlie, if you're in Dallas, we have 2 brothers in Dallas and a beautiful sister, Milka, in Dallas, man. If you're looking for a family in Dallas, please email us. I'm going to put the email in the chat. Please email us if you're looking for a family in Dallas. All right. Believers of the Way 144k@gmail.com. All right. I'm going to put it in the chat. Believers of the Way 144k. Praises. Oh, you did. You know what, Charlie? I am so sorry. Charlie Tills, I am so sorry. If you emailed us about a week ago, forgive us. We get so many emails. Can you please email me right now at this moment? Just say shalom so that I could get in touch with you as soon as class is over with. And me and you can probably get on the phone and talk a little bit. But we do have big things happening in Dallas, Texas shortly. All right. We got a lot of following in Dallas. So we'll be there. So please forgive me again. Send another email, a follow-up email right now, and I'll make sure after class I'll respond and we can probably touch bases for tomorrow. Barzaya. Oh, that's my boy. Barzaya Judah. Shalom, King. Barzaya Judah. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but Shalom, King. I see you on here. All right. All right, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started, man. So today's lesson title is Israeli Government versus Hamas. All right. What should the real Israelites do? What should the real Israelites do? So we know that this is something that's heavy within prophecy. We know that these things are going to do nothing but get worse. So what should we do? So Elder, what should we do? What should we do, Elder?
Pray.
We should pray.
Nah, but for real, yeah, for sure, because this is just one of many conflicts, wars that we're going to be seeing. Everybody been checking it out, been seeing the news. I mean, it's been everywhere as to what's happening over in over there in what's known as Israel and what have you. But we know who that land really belongs to.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Let's jump into it. Let's jump into this. One thing we have to, and here's the thing, and you know what's funny? If you guys have been watching us for the last few months, we've been going into all the end time prophecies. We talked. I've showed you. It's been in the spirit. I've showed you, and we're not saying that this is here. It is the end. We're not. No man can say that, but we've already shown through the different lessons that we're living in the markers of the last days. We've shown that. We went over the 1,000-year prophecy, Revelations 20. We went over that. We covered the 12 feathers. We covered the beast and the red dragon and all that to show you that these kingdoms had to come into power before Christ would make his appearance or the second coming when Israel will be delivered. We showed the 3.5 years and the 2,000-year marker and the time when the children of Israel begin to wake up right before they're delivered. We've been going over that. So go back, watch those videos because it leads us up to what's happening right now. The things that you're seeing, you remember what Christ said, there shall be wars and rumors of war. These are the beginning of sorrows, and one thing that you have to really look at is how quick the Most High can make something happen. See, don't think that when you see the end times, that it has to be some one thing and then another thing, and then it has to build up to this. Look how quick this war just jumped off. Just like that. People thought it was a good day. Next thing you know, missiles is flying, people getting shot, people getting bombed up, people getting pulled out of their houses, people getting children, families getting dismantled, getting killed. I mean, in literally seconds. You imagine you at the barbecue and all of a sudden you just see missiles dropping. That's how quick this happened. So these are things that's why the title is, what should the true Israelites do? Because when you see these things going on and we have the prophecies, we know what the Most High is bringing. That should be an indicator for us to say, damn, you know what? This can happen right here. This can happen in our own backyard. Look at what the Most High did with COVID. Look at the pestilence part of it. We also did the lesson about the 7 seals to show you the seals that we're living in so that you can see how we're close to that point of deliverance and what we have to do as Israelites and how we need to serve the Most High, really be serious, really be focused and start building up our nation, because these nations are coming together. Right now, when the Israelis were bombed, you don't think that they started, hold up, we coming together. You don't think they're calling the allies that's with them? That's the thing that you got to look out for, because who's Israel? I'm gonna refer to them as Israelis so we don't get mixed up with Israel. When I speak of Israel, I mean us. When I say Israeli, I'm talking about the so-called Caucasians that's over there posing to be Jews. Okay, but the Israelis' chief ally is America. So if these things start to get any worse, then what does that stand for? The inhabitants and citizens of America. You understand? Then you have to look at the and this is where it starts getting into the political part of it. So if you look at Iran, right, which is ancient Persia, who also had us in captivity. The so-called the Jews that's over there now calling themselves Jews, the Israelis, they also took part in our captivity too. Even to this day, they partake in our oppression. So the Most High is bringing judgment on these nations just like he said he would. So you have to look up to say, wait, hold up. The Most High said he's going to start bringing these nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat and pleading them for what they did to the children of Israel. You understand? So these are not our friends. This is their business, but yet these things are happening as judgments upon nations that afflicted the children of the Most High and that continue to lie. They continue to impersonate you, us. They've stolen our land. They've taken us into bondage. You got to look at all those nations over there, the Saudi Arabia, the Arabs, children of Ishmael. They've done us dirty. The fake Jews, they done us dirty. The children of Edom, the Persians, and then all the other mixtures of Israelites, of Ishmaelites that's over there. Okay, Jordan and Kuwait and Iraq and all these different places. It's been controversy over there for years, for years. And we're able to sit and watch them devour one another, but at the same time, we have to start gathering our army up. That's why the Most High is showing you, look, this is what's going on. That's why we went over those weeks and weeks of lessons showing us when the last days would be so that we could prepare properly. We got to be prepared mentally. We got to be prepared spiritually. And we got to be prepared physically. This is warfare. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that the Most High is showing us that it can happen any time. Read that and now let's go to Isaiah chapter 1. Book of Isaiah chapter 1.
And what verse you want?
Actually, I think I might want chapter 2.
2. Not 1 and 7, huh?
That's what I want. Yep.
Yep.
I was right. Chapter 1, verse 7.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 7. Your country is desolate.
Uh-huh.
Your cities are burned with fire.
You see that? Those are our cities that are being burned. You understand? Those are our cities. Those are our places. Those are our streets. That's where our forefathers raised their families. How we got here today. That's our nation. See, that's a part of history that they leave out. But that's important because a lot of people don't know that. They're over there crying and shedding tears. Oh, well, what about them? And look at what happened to the Jews. And oh my God, this is terrible. But yet, look at what's been done to the real children of Israel. Look at the bondage. Look at the slavery. Look at the lynchings. This is nothing new to us. Nothing new to us. And the Most High is not forgotten. So your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Read on.
It says, with fire, your land, strangers devour it.
Strangers devour our land. They have planted themselves into it and began to take on our history, our archaeology, and impersonate us. Isn't that something? But yet, they devour it in our presence. They're over there fighting like it's theirs. It's our land. But what happened? We were removed from the land because the Most High saw that we were not fit to live in it in a righteous fashion. So we were taken into captivity. And when the children of Israel left, then the other nations began to come in and claim it for themselves. You see what's going on? Read on.
It says, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers.
So when it says it's desolate, not meaning that it's empty, but meaning that the true children of Israel, who it rightfully belongs to, is not there. You understand? And not there in the manner as they supposed to. Now, we know some of our people moved over there or what have you, but what it's speaking of is that the land that's rightfully given to the children of Israel, they have no power there. They have no inheritance with that land at this time. They have no control over it as it once did in the time of our kings, in the time of our forefathers. You understand? So what we're seeing right now is another chapter of judgment that the Most High is bringing on these nations. Okay? You had something?
No, I was actually, it's so funny. I was gonna bring it out. I was gonna wait until we got into the lesson to kind of bring it out. But after I had seen an article that it was interesting that after this whole conflict happened, that they was telling the black Israelites to leave. They were telling the black Israelites. I have no idea. I just heard about it. How they were telling the Hebrew Israelites or the Hebrew Israelite community, the blacks, that they would leave, and it was actually video footage of like the Israelites over there saying, "I was born here." You know, the ones in Dimona.
Right.
They was like, "I was born here. I don't know nothing else but this." But the Israeli government was telling them they had to leave. Recently, in the midst of the war. So I was just trying to find that. If anybody in the chat seen that, let me know. But it was recently where Jews in I'm gonna type in Jews in Dimona.
Yeah, because that might be a good thing for them, because look what's happening. But this is something that's going to, eventually it's going to reach to the Americas. It's going to reach to the States. And, it's nothing that we can do about it, because as far as on the physical, on the warfare level, because the Most High has already prophesied. The only thing that we can do is align ourselves up with the Father. That's the only thing we can do. Only thing we can do. You understand? So when you look at the chaos that's happening over there, this is something that's been going on for years, you know, and this is something that, again, a lot of people may not even be familiar with the history of what's going on, but you have to check this out. Let's go to the book of Mark.
And I do know that they did that in 2018, and I think also in 2022, I believe, but they recently just did it too. But if the Lord permits me, then I'll try to find it. But I thought that was interesting because they know the prophecy, because they in war. We got to get the Israelites out of here, because in Joel chapter 2, which or 3, which we're gonna bring out tonight, it tells you that the Israelites will take their land back once that place is destroyed by the Most High.
That's right.
Mark
13. Let's get Mark 13. Let's read verse
14.
7. Let's start at verse 7.
Okay. Mark chapter 13, verse 7. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled.
So this is something that we know that's been always happening. War has always been on the face of the earth. This is why Christ is saying that war is nothing new. But one thing, and this is why I'm telling you, go back, watch the videos we did. Watch the 1,000-year prophecy. We did a video on that. Watch the 12 feathers. Watch the 7 seals. You know, watch the timeline to the coming of Christ. We did that video too. Which other ones did we do on that?
We did Christ. We did the feathers.
Okay. Yep.
We did Revelations 12.
Okay, Revelations 12, the beast.
Revelations 12. We did Daniel 9, I believe.
Daniel 9.
No. Was it Daniel 9 or was it Daniel?
I think was it Daniel 8?
Daniel 8, not Daniel 9.
Daniel 8.
I think we went to
the 70 weeks.
Oh, but we still did do Daniel 9 too, though. we did Daniel 9.
So all of those lessons show us the time frame of how Israel would go into bondage, all the way from at that time, even the lessons that's going from the time of Daniel, all through the Persian captivity, up to the Greek captivity, up to Rome, all the way through the Dark Ages or the so-called Middle Ages, all the way through the Renaissance, all the way to and then going into the triangular slave trade, up to America, up to today. Those lessons show us that transition from then, the Israelites from then to now, to show us how and what time frame that the children of Israel will be delivered. One thing we know for certain is that Esau has to be in power. The children of Israel will be in the Americas. A great majority of them will be in what's known as Babylon or America, modern day or spiritual Egypt. Okay, we've covered that. So once we see when Christ is saying there shall be wars and rumors of wars, now that we understand the time frame, that we're in that time frame now of the deliverance, now we got to really look at it, because it's not talking about going back to the holy wars or going back into the crusades and things that happened hundreds of years ago. We really have to start focusing on things now. Okay, read on.
It says, verse 7, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled.
Why? Read.
For such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet.
So then something else should happen. Read.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
See, that's what you're seeing now. See, because these aren't just wars that were fought for, territory or things like that. You're dealing with national situations now. You understand? This war that we're talking about here, when you're dealing with Saudi Arabia, you're dealing with the Israelis, you're dealing with Iran, you're dealing with Hamas, and any of these particular entities that's over there, you're dealing with nationalities, because they're fighting and trying for liberation for their people. See, that's nationality. That's nation war now. You understand? The Israelis are sitting there trying to hold on to something they believe is theirs for the sake of their people and their heritage. You have the Arabs who were there prior that got moved out once the Israelis came in, or the fake Jews came in, and they're figuring and they're upset saying, well, hold up. How are you guys going to take something that our forefathers had? This is our land. They believe it to be theirs, which technically is neither, is ours. Understand? So they're rising up for their nation. You got the Arabs or children of Ishmael rising up for their nation. Israel, we're supposed to be rising up for our nation. This is what's going on right now in the time frame which Christ in the scriptures prophesy about that we'll be living in right now. You understand? So when we start to look and see these things on CNN and on the news and all this other stuff, we got to really look and pull out the biblical newspaper to see that this is what Christ was talking about. This is what the prophecies talk about. Okay, read on.
It says, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes
Uh-huh.
in diverse places.
So these are things that's going to show us what we need to look for once those prophecy, once those numbers are fulfilled, and we're in that time frame of deliverance. Earthquakes, they're happening. Rapid numbers.
The earth, not to cut you off, Elder. Sister Hadessa let me know this. When the war popped off, it was an earthquake that same day.
Wow.
in various places.
Look at that.
Yeah, I remember when Sister Hadessa, she told me that. She said not only did the war pop off, but I can't think about. I can pull it up, but I can't think where they were. But there were pretty big earthquakes in different places.
Yeah, and it's been going on because there's when you look at the you go into the what's the scientist, the not genealogy, the geologist, you know, that's dealing measuring things in the earth.
Oh yeah,
things like that. Seismology, the measurements of earthquakes and things like that. There's been more earthquakes happening over the last 15, 20 years than ever in history. So when the Most High, so that's showing you that the earth is now uprising.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? So that's why when we talked about the 7 seals, it shows us the things that's going to happen, the pestilences, how that the shortage of resources and how the prices of things are going to go sky high. Now think about what's going on over there too. You know, oil has a lot to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oil has a whole lot to do with this. So oil already, because of the battery or the electric cars, gases are, look at the gas prices right now. So you see how gas is starting to go up astronomically, but guess what? Then there's a new war because now they're taking all the lithium mines and all this other, so that creates a whole nother war. So now you're battling for earthly resources that creates these things that people utilize from a day to day. You understand? Remember, it was diamond mines, then it was gold. Now it's elements so that they can make batteries for what? For these electric cars. And then you have the oil, because oil is not just used for car, oil is used in many things. You understand? So the refineries and all these machinery, these large machinery, they don't run on battery, they have to be utilized, they have to have fuel. You understand? So at the same time, you're dealing with that particular part of it. And everybody's going to protect their interest if it's threatened. So if America, who's Israel's chief ally, you don't think that they're going to protect their interests?
Absolutely.
And then you don't think that Iran is going to protect their chief interests? And Saudi Arabia is going to protect their chief interests? And all the allies that's backing them up? So then you start to get a big conglomerate of nations involved.
Yep.
Y'all see that?
Yep. That's
how these things start to stem up. That starts from these what they call conflicts to full-scale wars.
Yep.
World War I happened like that. World War II, Vietnam. You see what I'm saying? When you look at the Gulf Wars, these things created and started like that, where it wasn't just one nation going against one nation. Those and their allies fighting and coming together to destroy their common enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Even if one time they know how to put differences aside. If me and his brother's at war, but we both have a common greater enemy, we could come together, because what do they say? An enemy of my enemy is my friend.
There you go. Yep.
They know how to do that. You understand? So this is the situation that we got to look at, how tricky this can be. But at the end of the day, the Most High is showing us that it doesn't matter, because guess what? These nations are going to fall.
And I love what you brought out, because it says in verse 7, be ye not troubled.
That's right.
Meaning, I know Israel loves to, oh my gosh, it's amazing, it's exciting, but be ye not troubled. And I know we're going to touch on the prophecies, right? But I love the way the elder put this title together, because it says, what should the real Israelites do? See, we know the prophecies. All Israel, I've been saying Israel talk about it all week. We know the prophecies. Half of y'all probably even know the scriptures we about to go into. Now, what do you do for your personal life? I think that hit hard for me, is that we can know what's going on and still lose our salvation. You know what I mean? So pay attention, because these things are speeding up. These things are speeding up. Did you want to continue verse 8, Elder?
Yeah.
Okay. It says, and there's verse 8. And there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles, These are the beginnings of sorrows.
See, he's showing you that this is the beginning. We covered that. We talked about some of these things. We showed some of the issues that were going to happen. The famines, the pestilences, the disease. So if you look at how the Most High is just pulling this stuff up, he's showing us. He's saying, look, I could, just like that, these things can happen. Look how quick COVID came up and just crippled the world. Not a state, not a city, but the whole world changed overnight.
Overnight, yep.
Look at this situation here. Not to mention all the other mass shootings that you see that's taking place in different cities and states throughout the Americas. And that's all we know. That's all we see, because remember, we get a lot of the reports from what's happening within the United States. This is stuff that's going on worldwide that we have to look at. Okay. So it said, these are the beginnings of sorrows. Now let's drop down. Let's read verse 14. Now watch it. Now this is where we get into the fake Jews. Go ahead.
This is Mark chapter 13, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not.
Now that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It said, when you see the abomination of desolation, at this time, Christ was prophesying of the Edomite Romans that would invade Jerusalem and began to take captive the Israelites that were living there, the remnant of the Israelites that were living there in the year 70 AD. Okay, read that history. One of the basic books that all Israelites get is From Babylon to Timbuktu. Rudolph R. Windsor, the author, talks about that part of it.
Yep.
Okay. 70 AD, the Roman emperors under General Vespasian and Titus came in and slaughtered the Jews, causing them to flee into different areas of the world, primarily into the areas of Africa. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But with it, so showing you that when they came in, it said standing in the place, what?
It says standing in the where it ought not.
That means they don't belong there.
Mm.
That's important to understand, because now you see why there's so much conflict there, because none of them belong there.
Yep.
Standing where it ought not. But wait a minute, I thought all land was free grabs. No. Remember, that land, that was the only land that the Most High prophesied to his children. He didn't give them the Bahamas. He didn't give them Cuba. He didn't give them America. He gave them the land of Israel. That's our homeland. Mm-hmm. That goes through a covenant. You have to understand, remember, that land was first given to Adam. The same boundaries that you see, the rivers that ran through Eden, that's all that covered in water. That garden was all the areas of Israel. You understand? And then later, what happened? It was then reassigned after the flood. It got reassigned to our forefather Abraham. Mm-hmm. He was shown all the perimeters of the land. Mm-hmm. Then it was passed down to Isaac. Then it was passed down to Jacob. And then Jacob passed it down by a covenant to his 12 sons. And those 12 sons just begat us today. Mm-hmm. We're the rightful owners of that land. It was promised to us. So, but yet the Most High is showing you that standing in the place where they ought not. The abomination of desolation is the so-called white man, the Edomite nation. We covered that in other lessons. Yes, okay. Mm-hmm. Watch this. Go to Revelations 2:9. Mm-hmm. We're just going to keep it simple. Standing in the place that they ought not.
Revelations chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation.
Talking about the children of Israel. The Most High knows what you're going through. Mm-hmm. He knows the tribulation that you experience and that you're constantly still experiencing. Read on.
And poverty.
And our level of poverty. We know he knows we're broke. He knows we don't have much. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
Why are we rich? Because the covenant, the promises, the kingdom, eternal life, the service of God is promised to us. Read on.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
See, he says he knows the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not. See, then some people are going to say, well, is that not anti-Semitic? You see what I mean? See, they come up with all these terms to defend those that actually went in and took the place that they ought not to be in, according to Christ. He said they shouldn't even be in that land. It said not even living, it said standing in the place which they ought not. But yet they're living there and they're claiming for themselves. Now, how wrong, if the Most High is telling you we're supposed to even be standing in it, how are you going to feel when you done came in, moved in, and claim it to be yours.
Got all comfortable and fight everybody else that try to come in there.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's yours.
Like the devil.
Man.
Yeah.
So the Most High is showing you what's going on through history. Remember, the so-called Jewish, those that's occupying the Israeli area now, because you also got a lot of Arabs mingled in there too. We call them pale Arabs or whatever. They're Edomites too. That's mingled in among them. But yet claiming and professing Judaism, claiming to be the descendants of Israel. Then moving into the areas of Poland and Russia and Germany and Spain and the United States and all of that. And now they have taken their economics and their power to all new heights. Billion-dollar enterprises running and controlling the major businesses and thrivings of the world. That's the so-called Jewish that's living in the land now. You understand? So this is how, and because why? Remember, the Most High told you the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He gave it in the world. Okay? But the land is ours. And he says he knows the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not. So wait a minute. Can anybody be a Jew?
Not according to Revelation.
He says if you're a Jew and if you're calling yourself a Jew and you are not, it's blasphemy.
Yep.
So now we see that that's a blasphemous lie that they've created. And that's why the guy showed him your book you got.
Oh yeah, we got to touch this a little bit.
And that's why this guy Arthur Koestler wrote what he wrote.
13th tribe.
And he calls it a 13th tribe. Why? Because he's telling you that the tribe calling themselves Jews, if they're Jews, then it got to be a 13th tribe.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And we know that there's not a 13th tribe in that fashion that pertains to them.
The Ashkenaz and the Khazarians moved in.
Germany, Russia,
yep.
Poland, those areas. Yep. Because they were remnants of the Edomites that fled into the caves of the Caucasus. That's where the term Caucasian comes from. See, when you study it, the Most High causes you, when you read the Bible, he causes you to go into all forms of history, world history, ancient history, archaeology, sociology, anthropology, and all of these different forms of historic research.
Yep.
But they are not the Jews. We are. You understand? And that's why the Most High has us waking up so that we understand the truth, but the land is of no use to us if we're not right. That's the reason why we were rejected from the land, because we were not keeping the commandments. And until we start to do so and rightfully follow the Most High, that land won't come to us.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
That's an excellent point. So understanding that fact, Elder, there's some, and this is no slight to my brothers and sisters that believe and hold to this doctrine, there are some that believe we have to flee to that land.
That we have to flee to,
that we have
to
go
Israel?
Get out of America and go to Israel.
No, not now.
There's some that teach like we have to go now. We need to go to Israel, but then again, like we always say, you're not escaping.
No, you're not escaping anything.
You're not escaping if you flee to Israel.
Okay, if those that's in Israel now, what's happening?
They scared. They trying to come back here.
You don't think some of them got killed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know everybody that's there. I do
but
know
I'm
this.
saying, but considering the areas that were bombed and the areas that were where the conflict and the war has hit.
Yeah,
you know.
I'll say this for a fact, and I won't say the sister's name because she's a follower of the channel, and I love the sister, and it's confidential. But the sister, a beautiful sister, texts me and asks me, could I pray for her family, because I believe her mom, her auntie, and her grandmother, they all went to Israel and they're trying to get back. They're trying to get back home.
Yeah.
So, but they're stuck because there's no. I guess they shut down all the flights going in and out of there.
Right.
So they're stuck. So I say that to say, and I'm not saying that they teach the doctrine to go to Israel, but they would just happen to be there.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, running to Israel, family, is not gonna save you from this tribulation.
No.
It's not gonna save you.
No. Not at all.
Going to Israel, going to Africa, going anywhere, and we can bring up some precepts on that because, again, I love the title is "What Should Israel Do?"
Right.
What you should do is fear God and keep His commandments and be righteous through all of this.
Yeah. Let me know it. Let me get a scripture on that real quick. This is Jeremiah 16:16. We coming back. We're not gonna let fake Jews off the hook.
Oh yes, Salakia, Elder. You
No,
just
no,
made
no,
me
no, no. But this is
think
cool
about that.
because it also allows us to address these things that could come up, because that is a thing. That's, people teach you got to leave America and all these other places, go here, go there. But this is going to show you where there's nowhere where we can go. Jeremiah 16:16. Let's read that.
Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Behold, I will send for many fishers, says the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters.
Wait, hold on. So now he says he will send for many fishers. Well, what did Christ say to his apostles? I will make you fishers of
men,
what?
Of men.
Of men. So he's not talking about going out in the sea catching fish, trout and snapper and salmon and all of that. He's talking about fishing men, fishing and looking for men so that they can be brought. Because what happens when you fish? You throw in a hook, you bring them back, right? So that's what we're supposed to do with the word. We're supposed to go out, get our people hooked, show them what the word is, and bring them back to the Most High, and put them now in that eternal stream, not the polluted stream of filth and wickedness, but take them out of that pool and put them into a fresh one.
Right.
You understand? So we're the fishers, teaching and giving our people the understanding. Those are the fishers that the Most High is talking about. Now watch this. Read.
It says, and after will I send for many hunters.
See, now hunters are going to start coming about. And what's going to happen? Read.
And they shall hunt them from every mountain.
Some mountains.
Every mountain.
Every mountain. Those that are not in line with the Most High, they will be hunted down by the power of the Most High and done what? Read.
And from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks.
Can you hide?
Nope.
He said from the mountain, if you want to think you're going, we got to go up to the mountains. The Most High is going to find you. Well, what if we go underground? Most High is going to find you. Well, what if we go out to space? Most High is going to find you. There's nothing you can do to escape the Most High. Period. So do you think the Most High said he's going to hunt you from every rock, every piece of the ground, and every hole? What country you going to go to?
Yeah. And I want to say this too, and I know we're going to get back to the fake Jews too, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you can't move anywhere. And I'm not saying that you can't move to Africa. I'm not saying that you can't move wherever you want to move. All I'm simply saying is to teach a doctrine, right? And this is no slight to nobody, but to teach a doctrine, we have to leave. We have to leave. It's nowhere you're going to go. Whether you stay here, whether you go anywhere else, you're going to get hit with these things. So that's not to say you can't move. That's not to say, you know what, to hell with America, I'm moving. All fine, you know. Right. But I'm saying when you teach a doctrine, no, brothers, we have to leave. You're not going to escape. All right? I just wanted to say that because, you know, during this time of conflict, it's just ironic that, you know, we have brothers and sisters trying to escape out of Israel.
Right.
They trying to leave Israel. We got a fleet of Israel doctrine. Now they trying to leave Israel.
Right. And it goes to show you that there's no place safe. The only place safe is with the Most High.
Yeah.
You know, and and that's why I go back and watch the videos we did, because it shows you that it's important, because if you were to be involved, or any of us were involved in some type of conflict or battle, and we lost our life, guess what? We're judged according to the works that we've done up to that point. See, that's important. That's because, remember, even though we may pass away today or tomorrow or prior to the coming of Christ, we're still held accountable for the things that we've done. That's why our repentance is crucial. That's why he said, I will send for many fishers. See, the fishing portion is now. This is why brothers is in the street teaching. This is why you see the videos being done, or the lessons, so that we can fish and gather people and bring them back to the Most High. That's the only level of salvation we're going to get, is to be locked in with the Father. That's it. Okay. No, there's nowhere you can go. You can't flee from the Most High. You can't run from this warfare. It's everywhere. You understand? So, so that's the thing. The Most High say he sent for many fishers, and he gonna send for hunters, and they'll be hunted down. Let's go back to Revelations.
Absolutely. Hey, good point, Harrell. He said true, because the curses are in West Africa too. A lot of the tribes here do Torah and are waking up. Absolutely. All praises for that.
Yep.
Great comment. Yep. Curses gonna hit us everywhere.
Yeah, there's stuff happening, and you know, you had some trying to say, well, we got to flee into the areas of Mexico. Let's flee to Brazil, or let's go to here. It's conflict everywhere. And all it does, and just like how this happened, it takes the Most High 1 second. You think that the people that morning, that night when they went to sleep, that would happen to them the next day? You think that was on their mind like that? And they remember they live surrounded by a state of conflict. Mm-hmm. The Middle East has always been under conflict. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, sometimes they get comfortable and they figure, okay, well, we have a good time, but then no, that time and was hit by something that they never suspected would happen. A small nation, not even a nation, but a group. Hamas is a group of people that organize themselves to fight against the Israelis. Mm-hmm. Insurgents is what they're called. You understand? So when you look at, so that's no different than what the Maccabees did against the Greeks. Mm-hmm. You see? So when we see these things happening, you got to look at it to show this is how this is all it takes. It's for a person to wake up and say, you know what, man, forget this. We putting in some work today. Yeah. And you know what? And people don't know what's going. They sitting there thinking everything is good. Next thing you know, they hit and heads is rolling and bodies is exploding. That's all it takes. Mm-hmm. You might be at the Raider game, and next thing you know, the whole stadium is blown up. Look at 9/11. You see what I'm saying? And that's one thing you got to look at. That's a dangerous thing, especially when you're dealing with the children of Ishmael. I know we're sidebarring a little bit, but it's all relative. Yeah. Esau. Let me tell you something about Esau versus Ishmael, and that's why a lot of people get them mixed up, thinking that the Arabs are the white man. Because here's the thing: Esau has taken over the world through prophecy. The Most High prophesied he would get it. Esau is not the cruelest man. He does a lot of cruel things, but one thing that Esau has an upper hand is the fact. Now, you don't see a lot of Edomites blowing themselves up for what they believe in. But look at the Arabs.
And didn't the scripture say he's a wild man?
I'm going to get there.
Oh, I'm
going to get there. But that's one thing you have to look at. A man that's not afraid to die, that has never been afraid to die, that you got a nation of people that they'll pick up rocks before you let them overrule you or let them be overran. They'll throw rocks and bottles and everything that they can to fight oppression. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Yeah. But look at Esau today, crying, sensitive. You understand? So, but the different thing that the Most High gave to Esau was the spirit of wisdom. Mm-hmm. He has the intelligence. And he knows how to strategize, and he knows how to play and put things in the right pieces. That's how he wins it. Now he does, and he's vicious. I'm gonna tell you that. And he's very immoral, as the scriptures say.
Profane, yep.
But in terms of courageous and fearful, no, not at all. He's very afraid.
Or fearless, yeah. Courageous and fearless, yeah.
You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right, fearless, excuse me. Mm-hmm. But look at the Arabs. How many Edomites strap a bomb on their back and go blow somebody up while they're on it? Or blow up a bus. Yeah. While they're on it. Mm-hmm. See, Esau's good at sniping. We want to be far away from the action as far as he can.
And you know what this is going to do, Israel? What this is going to do is this is going to make it harder in the states for you to be an Israelite. You're not. You thought it was tough. Watch what they do. All the Israelites, all the hate groups, get ready. All of the hate groups, all you Israelites, you Hebrew Israelites, every hate group against the Israeli government, we got to crack down on you. Man. Be ready. We haven't seen nothing yet. It's coming. They're going to press that button to where you can't even call yourself an Israelite. You can't even call yourself a Jew. Anybody that is against the Israeli government will be enemy number one. Watch after this war. Right now, they focused on this little war. When they done getting it together, because mark my words, Hamas not going to win, because we know how this story ends. Most High got to go back and kill all of that. But watch when this war is over. They're going to turn right to the states, and now they're going to make it. They're going to make and push a law. I guarantee that it's anti-Semitic for you to call yourself an Hebrew Israelite. Mark my words. They already getting ready for it. It's coming.
Crazy.
Then you're going to see who really. Man, I hope I'm not even saying I'm gonna be. I hope the Lord be with us.
Man, for real.
You know what I mean? In these times.
And that's why it's important for us to get ourselves together and unite and stop, arguing and fighting over pettiness and all of that,
Right.
because that's not going to help us.
Yep.
That's not going to help us at all. So let's shoot back to Revelations,
2:9?
chapter 2:9. Yeah. So there's nowhere we can hide. So now let's go back and deal with the fake Jews.
All right. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
So talking about the real Israelites, you, Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and so on. Read on.
But thou art rich.
Right.
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not,
right,
but are the synagogue of Satan.
That's right. They're the synagogue of Satan. Why? Because remember, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. They get their seat and authority from Satan. We already talked about that in Revelation chapter 13. Okay. We went over that in those lessons. Go back, watch those lessons. We show you how the so-called white man whose names are under Edom, and Edom's descendants like Amalek. Okay. They get their seat and power from Satan. The Most High gave that to Satan. Satan gave it to him. Esau has made an agreement to follow and align himself with Satan. That's why his hardest principles are satanic and wicked. He stands for no righteousness at all. You see, and that's why he can go with freely blaspheme, as we read, and call himself a Jew. You understand? Yeah. See, that's the thing you got to look at. You have a lot of the Arabs that took control of the land, but they still kept their nationality. They just said, well, we keep the land. But no, this man comes in, takes the land, and takes the nationality that's not his. And the history. And the genealogy. He has stolen your genealogy. You see how that happens? Yeah. He even did a number and flipped it around because you had the world saying, wait a minute. You can't be a Jew because Jews are reckoned by genealogy. And your father is not Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what they did? The fake Jews did? They flipped a whole nother doctrine and said, hey, well, we understand that, but now it's by the mother.
By your mama.
Why? Because the mother was being taken by these people. But we know that's not the truth. The truth is that the man carries the seed. Whatever that father is what that child would be. But they're doing everything they can. They're trying to change science to make themselves a Jew. So this is why the Most High is bringing judgment. Watch this. Drop down, read verse 23. Watch what he's going to do to them.
Verse 23. Revelation chapter 2, verse 23. And I will kill her children with death.
Do you see that? How you kill someone with death?
Damn.
That show you the Most High is bringing, meaning that he's going to kill them and destroy them with so many deathly things. War, oppression, affliction. Oh, man. And this is the taste of it right now. You see, this is what you got to start looking at when Esau start getting lit up.
Yeah.
Then you got to start. Now that's what makes it dangerous, because now Esau's the kind, he ain't going down without a fight. That's why you have to look at this situation, because remember, America and Britain are the ones who helped put them in that position over there in Israel.
So the rage war with them is the rage war with the bully of the world right now.
Man, do you understand?
Yeah. So for them to attack Israel, they must be confident somewhere else.
They have to be.
So the bullies.
Right. So then what's happening in these meetings?
Yeah.
For them to sit there and say, you know what, we're going to strike back without hesitation. So Israel got to hit back. But guess what? You have Iran and all these places in there. They lining up with another big beast, Russia, Soviet Union. You see? So everybody's got a big brother.
Yep.
And if big brother got to get involved, then that starts to create a major catastrophe.
Yep.
Y'all see where this can go? You see what I mean? So this is what the Most High is showing us, how we got to really be focused and paying attention, because even no matter what they do, it doesn't stop the message of what the Most High is going to do. He's destroying them all. They can all come together. But guess what? They're going to all fall together too.
Absolutely.
The Most High is showing us that now. If we see that he's setting them up, hold that real quick. Where we finish that, 23. He said, I will kill her children with death. Go ahead.
And all the churches shall know that I am he which searcheth the reins of the heart, and I will give unto every one of you according to your works.
You see that? It says, then he said, by doing these things, he will reward everyone according to their works. So since our oppressors want to, kill and murder and rape and pillage and all of that, then guess what? It's going to start happening to them. So we can't start being mad and get sensitive and emotional when what was done to us starts happening to our enemies.
Absolutely.
We have to look up and say, well, hey, y'all teach karma. But when we say it, guess what? Now we a hate group.
Yep.
Now we anti-Semitic. Now we're no better than that. No, what we're saying is look, y'all, history has shown all of the oppression that has happened. And now that it starts to happen to them, hey, all we can do is look up and say, well, hey, you were warned through the scriptures to change, and you choose not to change. So there's it is, what the Most High is going to do. You can't stop the judgment of the Most High. We had to do the same thing. The nations laughed at us when we went into bondage. I'm not saying go out and laugh. All I'm saying is, hey, that's not our problem.
Yeah, definitely not.
So what should the Israelites do? We got to keep doing what we got. Our problem is to get our people together. That's not our problem. Could it affect us? Absolutely. Because we live in these areas in which we could possibly be affected. But that's not our problem. That's their problem. They have to answer for the things that they've done and the bad deals or the surmisings that they've done on their own. We have to answer for our own transgressions, right?
Yep.
We're the ones who broke the laws of the Most High. We're the ones that have to get ourselves right and have to get back on page with the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when we look at these things, that's why Christ said, be not troubled. The end is not yet. When you see these things, they're warnings, but don't trip off that because that ain't your problem.
Mm-hmm.
Your problem is making sure you're back on track with the Most High before your time is up. Or else not only will you die physically, but you also die the second death, which is spiritual lake of fire. So that's our walk, Israel. We can't be caught up. Well, what do you think is going to happen? What's going to You think you think Kuwait's going to jump? Well, what about Syria? What about Jordan? You think Jordan's going to come? Well, what do you think of Hamas is going to do? Well, what happens if they drop another bomb? The possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High already said, guess what? In Ezekiel 38, he says Gog and Magog and all of them, they're going to join forces and Persia and Tubal, all these places. That's all dealing with Russia and the Middle East and all that. All what you see is right there. That's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Most High broke it down already. But guess what? That's their problem. What can you do about it? What can you do? You see what I'm saying? What power do we have? Who we have? You know what's funny? Everybody got allies but us.
Yeah, I lost respect for Mayweather too.
Man,
you seen what he did?
What'd he do?
Mayweather sent supplies to Israel. Lost respect for that brother, man.
That's because our people don't know no better.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
I get it, man. And our people,
that's crazy. But
it's funny how our people so quick to help others, but don't help. They won't put that same energy into their own.
That's crazy.
You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, I don't know what his intention. I mean, that's that man. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that, we are doing what the Most High required us to do.
Absolutely.
So he said he's going to kill their children with death. And judge every man according to his works. That's the problem. That's what we have to make sure that we're in line with. Go to 2nd Ezra. Mm-hmm. Let's go to 2nd Ezra and let's read chapter 9 and verse 9.
2nd Ezra chapter 9. You want me to get it? Shall we? Yeah, I think that's what you want.
9, and actually we can start at verse 1. 2nd Ezra 9 and 1.
2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, watch which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So now he says, go back and measure the time diligently. That's why we went over those lessons to show you the time. You understand? To measure the time. Remember, let me just revisit one prophecy real quick. Go to the book of Habakkuk.
Con.
I'm sorry, Hosea. Hosea.
Yes, sir.
I want to just get one. Get Hosea. And let's read chapter 6 and verse 1.
I hope I was there. Hosea chapter 6, verse 1. Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he has torn and he will heal us.
See that? Let us return unto the Lord. That's our job. That's our job. Their job is to fight the wars and to do what they have to do for what they feel they think is right. The children of Israel, us, the real Jews, the real Israelites, we have to turn to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And if we turn to the Lord, we got to stay with the Lord. But he says he has torn and he will heal us. How's he torn us? We've been through captivity. We've been through the punishments. We've been through the lynchings. We've been through the robbing. We've been through the murder. We've been through the chaos. Now it's time for us to be torn, to be bound up and to be healed.
Con.
Okay, read on.
He have torn and he will heal us.
We torn and healed. Read.
He have smitten and he will bind us up.
That's right. Read.
After 2 days will he revive us.
After 2 days, he will revive us. What is the reviving? Is when the children of Israel start to wake up. Okay. How did we be revived? When was the first time we got revived? Is when Yahushua came.
Mm-hmm.
He brought to us the teachings and brought to us grace and repentance for us to get right when we were so far astray. That's the reviving. After 2 days, he will revive us. Read.
In the third day, he will rise us up and we shall live in his sight.
And that third day, we will be raised up and live in his sight. So 2 days. Now watch this. Go to 2 Peter. Get 2 Peter 3 and 8. Now, we covered this more in detail in those other videos, but I'm just bringing it up to now to show you the prophecies, how this is relative, that this is when we see these things that Ezra's talking about.
Yes, sir.
So he said after 2 days, read that.
2 and 8.
2 Peter 3 and 8.
3 and 8. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day.
So after 2 days, he will revive us. So what is it saying? After 2,000 years. Christ came when? In 1st century BC, like 1 BC. You can say 0 AD, whatever you want to say at that marker that changed over when Christ was born to bring salvation to Israel. After 2,000 years, well, 2,000 years has passed. And we shall be bound up in that third day. The 2 days has passed. We're 23 years into the third day.
Wow. Yep.
Do y'all understand? Another thing we got to look at is, remember, the Most High said we will go into Egypt again with ships, right? Deuteronomy 28:68. That Egypt is talking about is recorded in Revelations chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city called Sodom in Egypt. Talking about America. So the children of Israel go on slave ships to America, into spiritual Egypt, as Revelations 11 says, right? But then Acts says that we will be in that Egypt for what? 400 years. Well, when did all of the children of Israel come into here? In what?
1619.
See that?
Right? Yeah. Yep.
Well, 1619, 400 years on top of that, it put you where?
2019.
2009. So we had two prophecies that put us in the time of 2000.
Right now. Can't make this up.
And we're not saying Christ is coming back right down to year 2000. We're not saying that, but those are spiritual markers to show us the activities of when we should start looking for these things and how heavy and how more frequent these things are going to occur.
I like what the Most High said to Ezra. He doesn't measure everything in measure.
Absolutely.
So it's just markers, like you said, for us to see the measure of time of where we at.
That's right.
Man.
That's right. So when we see, and that's why I say go back and check that measurement. Because now that we see, because what happens is you get a lot of people saying, well, they ain't yet. They've been saying that for years. But no, they didn't understand the prophecies. Another thing, remember what the scripture say? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we know Esau has to be in power when Christ returns, right?
Absolutely.
There's another prophecy. So we see two prophecies that put us in 2000, and we'll see another one that Esau has to be in power. Is he in power?
Absolutely.
Man, you can't beat what the scriptures are saying.
Man.
You see what I'm saying? So let's go back to Ezra now. So now he says we have the measurement of what he told us back then. Let's finish reading. Let's start at 1 again.
Second Ezra, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So now, at that time, he said he's going to begin to visit the world. What's that meaning? Is that a lot of the judgments that we read about, watch the video of the 7 seals. We did, that's like three parts to that, right?
The 7 seals, yep. We did go
it talks about it. So we can show you that we're in that particular seal. You understand? But it says that he will begin to visit the world which he made. Now we're seeing the visitation. That's why he said Christ said that there shall be pestilences and famines. That's why you had COVID. That's why you had the Ebola. That's why you had swine flu. That's why you have that. What's the new one? RSV or something? What is that? Is that what it's called?
It's a gang of new ones.
What the kids get? Is that RSV?
I'm not sure.
If y'all know what it is, I can't recall the initials of it. I think it's RS something that the kids are getting, similar to what COVID was.
I know they got a new strand of COVID.
You know, and it's going to get worse. You think that COVID was, you see what that did? Watch. You ain't seen nothing yet. The Most High tells you, he says, man, when you watch that 7 seals video, there's going to be pestilences and things that you ain't never seen. Never seen. It's going to be a time of trouble. And since there was a nation unto that time that the world has never experienced. That's why Christ said, when you see these things, now it's the beginning of sorrows.
RSV.
That's what I figured. I knew it was something like that.
And also too, somebody asked what book we're reading. We're reading out of the Apocrypha, which is a part of the original 1611 King James Bible, in the book of Second Ezra, chapter 8, verse 2. We're at. You want verse 3?
Yeah, we're in chapter 9, actually.
I mean, Second Ezra, chapter 9, Salakia, verse 2.
Yep, let's read verse 3.
All right. Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Now, when there shall be seen earthquakes, that we just read that in Mark, and uproars. Look at this. Here's another uproar. But there's been uproars going on in the Middle East a lot. Okay. Read on.
It says, verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
See, all these things were already talked about. Even before this conflict happened a few days ago, did we not already talk about what was going to happen? We even talked about stuff was going to happen in the Middle East. And lo and behold, it happened.
Something happened, yep.
You see what I mean? Because the Most High already told us. But it doesn't change our mission. You understand? The Most High is going to do what he does. He's waking us up now because here it is. We're in no condition to fight nobody. We're too busy fighting ourselves. You understand? That's the problem. So if we learn to start really applying the commandments of the Most High and put our pettiness aside and our foolishness aside, guess what? Now we're ready to go out as an army. Now we can, because think of like this. Look at Hamas. These groups, all these was people that rebelled against the system that was oppressing them, and they organized themselves, got weapons, and they fighting. How the hell they can do that and we can't? What's wrong with that picture?
Be destroyed.
You see? But the thing is, of course, they had other countries backing them up, supporting them, giving them weapons, giving them finances and things like that. So yeah, it helps to have that. But here's the thing. We're not talking about it. We're talking about world power. We're talking about eternal power now. So there's only one source that we can utilize for that, which is the Most High. All these other kingdoms is temporary and of short standing. The kingdom that's promised to us is forever. So who's going to give us that? But the almighty power who lives forever. That's why we got to handle and deal with what the Most High is saying. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whoever's going to join forces, whoever's going to jump in next, whoever's going to launch a bomb, who knows? They might start sending stuff this way. Yeah. Because it's those little groups like that you got to watch out for. Because they're the ones that says we have nothing to lose. See, America's, that's why they can go in and invade everybody. They still know, like, look, we can't just start just jumping in every single war and just start bullying everybody. Mm-hmm. They've done their share, but they're also diplomatic and they understand. And that's why they go up with these nations that are weak and they get behind them so that they can accumulate and get more sources and more resources from them.
Yep.
That's the political part of it. Mm-hmm. But we can't be political. Remember, we have no allies. It's just it. That's it. We got one ally, the Most High. Mm-hmm. And we don't, and the way we act, we don't like him. Ain't that crazy?
It's crazy. We don't like the
one ally we have. We won't even deal with him. And no matter he's telling us to. But these other nations can come together and do all that. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So what the Most High is showing us is that we got to lock in. He told us what was going to happen. Read on.
Verse 5. 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Verse 6. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs.
See, there's signs and effects. This is what the Most High is showing us. He's telling us, look, we got to look at what the Most High said. I just showed you 2 prophecies, actually 3, that put us in this time, the 2,000 years, the 400 years in spiritual Egypt, and that Esau will be in power, which is the white man at when Christ comes. Mm-hmm. And we see all of that is fulfilled. So we have to see what the scriptures are saying. And now we have to make sure we start doing what the Most High told us to do and start getting on his page, keeping these commandments. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do? We got to keep these commandments. Here's another thing. You see how the nations is, the Most High got you training. He has Israel training for these wars because we're going to have to fight in some of this stuff.
Yeah.
When it hits home, when it hits in your areas, and when there's no government and there's no police force that can help you, we're going to have to fend for ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's why the Most High has us keeping our commandments, our holy days. You understand? Mm-hmm. Because if you really look at the holy days, the Most High has us to keep the Sabbaths and all of that. They prepare us mentally, spiritually, and physically. How do they prepare us mentally? Look at the Sabbath day, 7-day Sabbath. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to cease from work, our own labor, right? And he tells us why. He says, so that we may be refreshed. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Wow.
That gives us time to do what? Tend to him, tend to our spiritual business and get our mind right with the Most High. Cease from everything else. Go into your meditation. Talk to your spiritual father. Increase your brotherhood. And you have to do that with an undivided mind state. We do too much. We're pulled in everywhere. We're trying to work. We're trying to live. We're trying to get money. We're trying to pay bills. We're trying to manage our family. We're trying to do all this stuff. We're getting pulled in every direction. But when do we ever take the time to stop, disconnect, and focus and meditate and get our mind clear? That's why we make so many bad decisions, because our mind is clouded by so many thoughts. You go to sleep, you think you can't even get a good night's sleep because you're bombarded with thoughts. Am I right?
Nah, you're very right.
You wake up, you're thinking about the same thing you went to sleep thinking about.
Thinking about work, thinking about school, thinking about...
Yep. Do you understand? So when we learn the Sabbath, how to really utilize that, yep, now we're able to disconnect and we're able to focus and tend upon the Most High. That's why he said, call the Sabbath a delight. That's a refreshing. It said the Most High ceased from his labor and was refreshed. Mm-hmm. That's just reset time now. Then what do we go into? We go into Passover. Mm-hmm. One of the first feasts of the year. That starts to get us right internally. Because what do we have to do? We got to remove the leaven.
Yep.
What does leaven represent? Malice and wickedness. Mm-hmm. So now we meditate, we cease from our work, so now we can focus on how to get rid of the leaven. Then what do? We start to gain our crops. First fruits comes along, right? Mm-hmm. Now we're getting our body right. That's why I said eat of the first things of the land. Give it to the Most High, showing us how to watch what we start to put in ourselves.
Yep.
That's the physical part of it. Then we move on and we hit the trumpets, and we start to sound the trumpet and blow and make the announcements. Then we move into a day of atonement, because through our works and through our gathering, we may make mistakes and we atone for it. See, that's that physical, that's the mental and spiritual part of it. Mm-hmm. Then what happens right after that? We have tabernacles, which we just started, which we just celebrated, where the Most High says, "Now I'm going to put you out in the elements. We got to dwell in booths 7 days." Mm-hmm. So now check it out. We know how to disconnect. We know how to start to purge internally through keeping the Passover. We know how to start reaping of the land and how to nourish ourselves properly through first fruits. Then we learn repentance through our Day of Atonement to cleanse ourselves from our foulness and things that we may do. And the Most High God is saying, because you're going to learn how to be out there in them elements, because who knows, you may have to flee into the mountains for your life. Now, but guess what? You and your children got experience. You fasted on Day of Atonement. You know how to disconnect and go without food. Don't they teach the same thing in the military?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, even less worse in the military, because they give you little rations.
Exactly.
We don't eat at all. Man. But Elder, I have to say this, because you in the spirit right now, and as you were speaking in the spirit, I couldn't help to notice that, of course, we're about to end the 7th month.
Yeah.
Which is completion.
Yeah.
And all this war popped off in the 7th month, meaning not in the 7th month, ending the 7th month, going into a completion.
Right.
So the Lord popped this off going into the 8th month in terms of like the 7th month being completion, on top of the Spirit just brought it out through you, how the Lord prepares us through his feasts and his Sabbaths through atonement. We got to flee. Mm-hmm. We might not be able to eat.
That's right.
We got to go in the wilderness. Mm-hmm. We know how to set up a camp.
That's right.
The Lord, that's spiritual.
You can't y'all see that? Up, man. So when people telling you we don't need to keep them holy days, you see what kind of mind and the spirit they're in. They're not in the war. You see, and then check it out. So then what happens after tabernacles? We have our feast of dedication. Now we're able to dedicate ourselves to the Most High, a real spirit, because why? We've been refreshed mentally.
Dedication, yep.
We've been cleansed out. We removed the leaven. We've atoned for the wrong so that we can be, and we've learned to dwell and have the Spirit of the Most High dwell within us while we dwell in the elements. Mm-hmm. He says, I don't care if you got a mansion, you dwell in that booth. Because guess what? That mansion will not help you. Get out in that tent. Get out in the elements. And learn, because guess what? When it comes down, you won't be a stranger to that life. Every year he got his training. Then what happens? We have our Feast of Dedication, which is a commemoration of what? Of our courage to stand up against our enemy. So you see, we can't stand up against our enemy until we get ourselves right. Mm-hmm. And notice we got 3 feasts right after that where our enemy gets defeated by us.
Yep.
Because we refreshed our mind. We start to remove the leaven from us. We atone. We start to learn how to manage ourselves in the element to allow the Most High to dwell within our temple during tabernacles. Now, being in the right state of mind and the state of spirit, we can be in that dedication to the Most High. Now we can put our real selves and our souls on the altar for the Most High now. Mm-hmm. And guess what? We get delivered for our enemy, because then what rolls around? Feast of Nicanor. Then Purim. What happened on those 2 celebrations? Our enemies was defeated.
Destroyed. All praises.
Every year we go through that cycle. That's the Most High training us to say, you got to get right. You want to beat your enemy? You got to get right. And we rehearse it every year. But if we're not doing it in the spirit, we're just doing it to do it, we won't understand that part of it.
Yep.
You understand? That's why the Passover is so important, because it's showing you that, man, in order for us to live, something has to die. And guess what? That's the first thing we got to learn about war, is in order for us to get our kingdom, something has to die. So when the Most High say he's a man of war, is he true? Is that the truth?
Yes, he
is. And
he's
teaching his children to war by keeping of the holy convocations. But then you have the fake Jew over there calling it, we got to have Yom Kippur, and we have to have Shavuot and all these other things, and they're not doing it in the fashion that the Most High had us do it in. Mm-hmm. Now you can understand how David was able to have that courage and fierceness, because they was taught this from youth, from birth. Mm-hmm. You understand? So the Most High is putting it back into us, and we have to just remain spiritual so that we can understand it and get the spiritual food from it. Mm-hmm. That's what we have to do. That's how the Most High is training us up. So then when these things start to occur, we know what to do. We know how to gather ourselves. Mm-hmm. We know how to go out, and we know how to fight the enemy, because Christ is warning us of that. Go to the book of Luke. Mm-hmm. Luke 22. Is the Most High a genius? Is he cold or what?
Man, the coldest.
Can y'all see how the Most High has
nah.
us? Man, that shows you love.
Man,
when the Most High is giving us a ordinances in that fashion, that's love. He's like, man, I'm gonna never leave my people not being, even when they know they're not prepared. They don't think they're preparing. I'm preparing them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dynamics of the Most High. Let's read that in Luke chapter 22. Let's read verse 38.
Luke chapter 22, verse 38.
Yep.
And they said, Lord, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough.
It's 36. I'm sorry, I said 38.
Yeah,
my fault. 36.
Luke, the book of Luke chapter 22, verse 36.
Yep.
Then said he unto them, but now he that has a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip.
Because before, Christ showed the apostles and he taught them how to operate in the spirit. He said, hey, don't take no money, don't take no script, just go out and learn how to fend for yourself. He says, look, he says, the birds and all that, don't they eat? Don't they, get food and what have you? They were like, yeah. And he says, well, aren't you better than they? So the Most High take care of you. So he showed them how to put the Most High first and how to operate in the spirit when you don't have things, and know that learn how to trust in the Most High, right? Then he says, now that you first understood that, you see how Christ is training? He said, I'm going to show you the spiritual part first. But now, don't be foolish and think that when something jumps off, you're going to sit there with your arms out and be like, Lord, take me. No, you might have to fight. So now he says, read that from the top again.
It says, Luke chapter 22, verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now he that has a purse, let him take it.
Meaning you're going to need money. So make sure you utilize the money because you got to buy certain things, okay? We know we can't function in a society without money, okay? Read on.
And likewise, his scrip.
And you also better have your script, the word, okay? Now, we know it's supposed to be in us, but do we forget?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do we always have it? Are we always on point? No. So he said, you got to reference this. That's why we read from the word, okay? Read on, but watch this.
It says, and he that have no sword.
What is a sword? A weapon. He that don't have a weapon, read.
Let him sell his garment and buy one.
You better figure out a way to get one. It's going to be necessary. He said, sell a garment if you have to. Sell your car. Sell your gold chain. Do something. That means that you need to make sure not only are you spiritually girded, but you also going to have to get physically girded too. Just like how we learn to be mentally, physically, and spiritually inept to deal with in the Most High when he teaches us the holy convocations, we got to be the same way. Because when these things happen and you got to defend your family, what are you going to defend them with? You see? So that's why the Most High is showing us we had to fight. There was instances we had to do these things because we had no choice. We didn't go out instigating anything, but guess what? When these things happen and people are trying to come in your homes, they trying to take you into captivity and take your children from you, man, what you think is going to happen? That's why I said there shall be uprisings. So just like you see what's happening in the Middle East with these groups, and that's how all these militia groups and all these Al-Qaeda and these certain societies and these little groups form because they're going against the establishment that's oppressing them. But that's no different than what our forefathers did in the time of Maccabees, in the time of Esther. In the time of when you read in the book of Judith, we had war all the time, and we had to learn to come to the Most High, and then we also had to fight for these things too.
Absolutely, yep.
So this is what we got to do. But first and foremost, we got to get our minds right with the Most High. Mm-hmm. We got to keep these commandments. We have to, and that's why, again, while we go through the cycle of the holy ordinances and the feast days so that we can get ourselves right and keep that stuff on our mind. Was all of that?
You want 37 or?
No.
Okay,
we're good with that.
Okay, con.
Shoot over. You had something?
Yeah, shoot. I did want to talk about that Joel chapter 2.
Yeah, for sure.
But before that though, I did have Matthew Sirach 27 and 22, and then Matthew 24. I'll get 2, and then I'll
Sirach 27 and 2.
27 and 12. Like it. Now, you know, what the elders going into is profound. This is definitely a time for Israel to watch the real prophets. Your bootleg pastors, all they gonna do is tell you to pray for Israel. You know, they gonna, and you know what your bootleg pastors are gonna do. Your bootleg pastors, hold that. I'm sorry, elder. I gotta get this real quick. The prophets that's been before me. That's Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. What is that? Jeremiah 6. Real quick before we get to Sirach, Salakia, because you're gonna have this. This is also, these times also help us to understand who the real prophets are, who the real apostles are. Is it your bootleg Christians? This is what these times are going to slowly start to reveal to our people, or who the real prophets, right? I think is it Jeremiah 14? Let me see. I think it's not one. No, it's in Jeremiah. Peace. 28. Okay. All right, Jeremiah 28, Salaki. Oh, yeah, I got it marked down. Yeah, Con.
Yeah. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries.
You see that? So the real prophets prophesied against many countries. Read.
And against great kingdoms.
And against great kingdom. Is America a great kingdom? Absolutely. Is it the Israeli government a great kingdom? Absolutely, because they have one of the greatest kingdoms backing them. So America is a great kingdom. The Israeli government is a great kingdom. Russia is a great kingdom. All these nations are great kingdoms. So these things can also show you who your real prophets are, because you know what your fake prophets are saying? Your vocab Malone, or your no cab Malones, and your who else is, I don't know. Y'all know who these false pastors are. They're prophesying peace for Israel. Pray for Israel. The Lord's going to deliver Israel. But that's not what the scriptures say. The scripture says we got to prophesy against these nations. These are the real prophets. The real prophets that's out there prophesying against these nations, right? Read.
Yep. I read it from the top. Jeremiah 28, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
So what that means is the real prophets are not going to be prophesying that you're going to get a new car. The real prophets are not going to talk about this is going to be your spiritual rejuvenation. God is going to give you money. This is not what the real prophets are going to talk about. The real prophets are going to talk about great kingdoms of war and pestilence. So let's see what the Most High God tells us to do. And real quick, we'll go to Joel chapter 2. But before that, let's go to Sirach real quick, 27 and 12.
Did you want verse 9?
You can start at 9. Yeah.
I mean, on that, the prophet prophesied.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on, yeah. Finish verse 9.
Jeremiah 28, 9. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of that prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him.
Because what do they say about the Israelites? We're a hate group, right? But because of what we talk about, how strongly we talk about what we talk about, they're a hate group. No, it's not that we're a hate group. The scriptures say we must prophesy against evil and against many kingdoms and against pestilence, meaning sickness, COVID. All of these things is falling right in line with the Bible.
You got to say the things that people don't want to say.
It hurt their feelings. Yeah. Because this is what's going to save and wake our people up. But you're going to have those prophets, false prophets, to scatter the sheep. They're going to be prophesying against for peace. So watch how you might have some new people in here that don't really know the truth fully. Watch how these pastors go against the biblical narrative of prophesying against these great nations. They're going to pray. They're going to have a holding of the hands in the church and pray for peace. Yep. When God says there is no peace, that's Jeremiah 6.
As they blow up the church.
Yeah, right. Man. That's what's going to happen with the false pastors and prophets. The real prophets are going to talk about war and pestilence, as Jeremiah 28 says. Now let's get Sirach 27 and 12.
The book of Sirach, chapter 27, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time,
Uh-huh.
but be continually among men of understanding.
Y'all got to get to these classes. Get to the Israelites teaching. Go to the street corners. Get to the men of understanding, because these men, this is my elder. I bow my head to the elders and the wise men to give us the direction of what we should do in understanding, right? I don't know everything. I get to men that's greater of greater understanding to know what we should do in the times and watch the times. Get in class. Don't take these times for granted, because it's going to be one day where the Most High pull the plug on the internet and you can't watch these classes. There's going to be a day where no Bibles are being printed anymore. The Bible that you got in your hand, that's going to have to be your baby, because you can't go to Barnes and Noble and get a new Bible. These things will happen, right? That's why the scripture says, what must the Israelites do? We must watch. We must get to the great men, as Sirach. The prophets must prophesy. As Jeremiah 28 says. Sirach 27 says, you must observe the prophets prophesying and get to the prophets and watch them prophesy against the kingdoms and the nations. And then Matthew 24:44 says, we can go to Matthew 24:44. So I'm just showing you how it says, what should we do in these times? And we see the end is coming. We got to prophesy and teach. The men must go out there on them corners and teach, as Jeremiah 28 says. Sirach 27 and 12 says, you have to get to men of understanding to know these times. And then Matthew 44 says, Matthew
24, verse 44. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh.
See that? It says, in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man will come. He's going to come, and we can see these times. So I know for sure, I hope the Most High has mercy and we can't take these times for granted. So now I'll read Joel chapter 2, and then I'll give it back to you, Elder. Joel chapter 2, verse 1. These are the times that we're in and the times that are to come in the future. So let me just put this out here. Will Hamas destroy Israel? No. Hamas is not going to destroy Israel. Okay? I just want to put that out there. Hamas is not going to destroy Israel, because Joel chapter 2 prophesies the Most High and the saints destroying the wicked out of Israel. So when you see the bombs flying in Israel, you know what I mean? Don't rejoice yet, because the end is not yet. These are just growing pains of what has to happen. You understand? Hamas is not going to drop and wipe off Israel off the face of the planet. That's not going to happen. Israel's going to be wiped off the face of the planet like this right here. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 1.
I read it. Joel 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
So the trumpet is blown in Zion right now. The trumpet is blown. The Most High is declaring war against Zion right now. Who's the inhabitants in Zion right now? The fake Jews are. The Amalekites are. All right. They're in Zion right now. So the Most High is declaring war on Zion. And isn't it funny? Because we just finished the Feast of Trumpets. The 7th month, Feast of Trumpets. What do we use trumpets for? For celebrations.
That's right.
We use trumpets for war, like the elder went into so beautifully. You see, the Spirit is showing. The Spirit is showing where we at. Trumpets there, right? Showing that it's time for war, right? Read.
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble.
All the inhabitants of the land. That's why I said you might not want to flee to Israel.
Right.
Not right now. Scripture says, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble right now. Ain't they trembling right now, Elder? They trembling right now. They trying to get out of there. They telling the Israelites in America, pray for us, which we will, of course. Those are our brothers, and we hope to God the Most High protects them. But the scriptures say, look, those that are in the land tremble. Watch this, read.
For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
For the day of the Lord is coming, and it is nigh at hand. So who's going to step foot over there? It says the Lord's going to do it. Read on.
A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
So there's going to be a great people. That great people is going to be a great army that's going to come and destroy. We're not going to read all of this, but for the sake of time, read all of Joel chapter 2. It gives you a play-by-play of what's going to happen to Israel. Let's go ahead and read verse let's get to verse 11.
Verse 11. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word.
Read.
For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible.
And you know who his army is going to be? Israel going to be a part of that army too. And we're going to have to go in that that land, and we're going to have to clean it all out. Those inhabitants that live there, that's why they're so afraid right now. Because they know the prophecies. The Israeli government and the Palestinian governments, they know the prophecy, but what they're doing is they're thinking, the Israeli government is like, okay, it's prophecy that they're going to try to destroy us, so we got to fight back, and so we don't want to be destroyed. And then the Palestinians think, Joel chapter 2, we got to go in there and kill them. So they both got the prophecies, but they wrong on both sides. Yes, Joel chapter 2 got to happen and Israel got to be destroyed, but it's going to be by the hands of the Most High and his people, not by the Palestinians. And Israel got the prophecy right in the fact of we got to be protected, but you're not the ones that's going to be protected. America can't protect you. The Most High God is going to come with his army. We'll finish it off with this. Go ahead, read.
And who can abide it? Verse 12. Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart.
See, that's what we have to do. We have to turn to the Most High God with all our hearts. Right now, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? We should just watch, observe, pray, get to the wise men and the prophets, and turn to the Most High God with all our hearts. And then this will happen. Read verse, it's the last 2 verses. Read verse, get 15.
Verse 15. Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly.
Read.
Gather the people, sanctify the congregation.
You see that? It says gather the people. Who's going to gather the people? The Most High is going to gather the people. It says gather the people together. That's why you don't have to force the prophecies to come to pass. You don't have to force. Do we got to go to Israel? Do we got to run? What do we got to go? Watch, observe. The Most High is going to blow that trumpet, which he already has, and the people are going to be gathered. All right. I believe that's 2nd Ezra chapter 13, where it gives you a description of what's going to happen and how the Most High is going to destroy the nations and the people when they stop. Matter of fact, we probably got to get that last one after that, and then I'll turn it back over to the elder. Let's finish this off. Read.
Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber and the bride out of her closet.
You see that? That's what's going to happen. We're going to be gathered together. We're going to be gathered together. The Most High is going to do it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. The Lord is going to gather us together and make us go into that land, and he's going to protect us as he go and to destroy our enemies. Continue.
Verse 17. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them.
You see that? So the Most High God is going to come, take Israel, gather us, march up into that land. That's what's going to end it. That's what's going to end it. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 13, and I'll end it with this. We'll start at let's start at verse 1. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 1. So what must we do, Israel? We must watch these things unfold. It's kind of scary to actually watch these things unfold because you constantly think, am I right? Am I right? Is the Most High have mercy upon me? Am I doing anything that's wrong? And if you, all praises to the Most High, if you are doing something wrong and he hasn't come back yet and he's giving you an opportunity to repent for it. That's what we must do in these times, Israel. The biggest thing that Esau fears is not us going to Israel. Esau don't fear us going to Israel because he knows that the Lord is going to do that. Esau has control over that land. Esau don't fear so-called niggas and Mexicans going to Israel. You know what Esau fears? Esau fears us coming out of Babylon mentally. out of her ways, out of her fornication, out of her hypocrisy. He fears us coming back to the Most High God and keeping these commandments. That's what he fears, because that's what's going to cause. See, because yes, family, I'm going to tell y'all this. We can watch the prophecies unfold, but one of the main prophecies that has to happen as well as the war and things is Israel waking up. That's why we got to constantly teach. That's why we got to constantly spread the gospel. That's why we got to street teach. That's why we got to assemble ourselves together in camps. For all the camp bashers out there, we have to assemble ourselves together because that's a part of the prophecy. All right, we'll read this.
Just to add, this is us waking up is more serious to the so-called white man and to the nations than what's happening over there anyway. You got to look at that. We're more of a threat to this thing than any war they can ever fight. They know that. That's why they've done for centuries and worked hard to keep us down and keep the truth away from us. Mm-hmm. If it was so, if we were just a no people as they professed, why did they work so hard to make sure that we never get this and teach the Bible to us in such a way that we can never be redeemed? You understand? So what's happening over there is nothing. This is the war that they're really afraid of, is us waking up, because they know that at that point, that's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Absolutely. And that's the point. The point is the center of this all. See, we're looking at it, what they say, hindsight is 20/20. We looking at it in a different way. We're not understanding that the center of this war is you. The center of this war is so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of indigenous descent that are the children of Israel that can be proved without a shadow of a doubt, historically and biblically. You are the center of attention, because regardless of how many wars happen, if you don't wake up, nothing moves. Nothing moves. And that's also talked about in the book of 2nd Ezra as well, how the Most High does things in measure, and nothing moves until that measure is sealed. I believe it's either chapter 7 or 8. But the Most High said nothing moves until the righteous number is fulfilled and the wicked number is fulfilled in the earth. So we have to continue to pray and fast and get to the Most High. Let's read verse 1. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 1.
2nd Ezra 13, verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. Mm-hmm. And lo, these arose a wind from the sea, that had moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Mm-hmm. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
You see that? Everybody that seen this man, we know who this is. This is Yahweh Shai. It says everybody that seen him trembled. Read.
And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it fleeth the fire.
So this is when the Yahweh Shai comes back. He's going to return, right? And this is the power that he's coming with. Read verse 5.
Verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
You see that? So there's men. These are the heathen nations.
That's right.
They think that they gonna come. See, they fighting each other right now, but they think it's gonna come a time where they think that they're gonna try to fight the Most High and his son Yahweh Shai. See, that's the war Armageddon. That's the final death blow. So all this stuff in Israel with Hamas and stuff, those are just growing pains and wars and rumors of wars, and just letting us know the Most High is near. But the real battle, when the Most High and his son come back, all the men gonna stop. All Hamas, Palestine, Israel, all of China, any nation that you can think of, Russia, whatever nation you think that, they all gonna stop. What the scriptures say, they all gonna stop. Read. That's what they say. We almost done with this one. Verse
6.
Yeah, 6.
But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. Mm-hmm. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not.
See, but that hill was Zion. All right, that's the great battle, right? What we call the Battle of Armageddon, right? The last great battle in the regions of Israel, where you read about that in Joel chapter 2, where the Most High is going to come and he's going to sit on his holy mountain. Watch this, read.
Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight.
But the nation's gonna be scared, but they still gonna fight. They still gonna try to fight. Watch this, read.
And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
You see that? Read.
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight.
You see that? They turned their instruments of war, tried to fight the Most High. The Most High is going to obliterate the nations. All praises to the Most High. Going to obliterate the nations.
Man.
And I just hope I'm on a peaceable multitude. You can keep reading that on your own, Israel. I'll give it back to the elder. But I just want to touch on those a couple scriptures of what we should do and what is to come.
And those are very critical and great scriptures that you brought out, because it just goes to show that this is what we're here to do. We're here to serve the Most High, and it's very important and intricate that we get to the Most High. You know, these nations, we see the judgment that's coming, and the thing is, again, you know, these things that the Most High has happened, and that's why I said back, I said, look at the measure of what the Most High did then, and look what he's doing now. That we have to know that the Most High is for real with what he's saying. He told us we'll go into bondage and go into on ships and all of that. Did it happen? He said that these nations would come up and rule over us. Did it happen?
Yep, absolutely.
He said the nations going to fight against each other and all of that. Did it happen? Is it not happening?
It's happening now. Yep.
You know? So when you look up like wars and rumors of wars and all of that, you know, just on your own time, go online and just look up the wars, all the wars that's happened since like 2000 up to now, in the last 20 years, 2003 or something up to now. It's been hundreds of wars fought. A lot of stuff our people don't even know because of the fact that they're not in America. And one thing you're going to see is that a lot of the wars that's fought, you're going to see the Arabs is involved.
Yeah.
You're going to see the Africans is involved. And you're going to see the so-called white man's involved. You know, China, Japan, you see them scattered here and there. Yeah. But look at those things. What? The great majority you're going to see are the Arabs, which are the children of Ishmael. But remember, what did the Most High say? The prophecy of Ishmael, he shall be a what?
A wild man.
A wild man. His hand shall be against every man and every man against him. That's starting this whole thing. The children of Ishmael. And again, like I said before, he's very courageous. The Most High won't give him the world power. But one thing he does have, he's not afraid to die.
Yeah,
Ishmael is dangerous because, like I said, they'll blow themselves up quick and won't think twice about it. Esau, so-called white man, he's ruthless, but he's more strategic. He's smart. He uses a lot of his technology to attack. You know, but the power was given to them. But I'm gonna follow back on Joel, and let's go to chapter 3. Let's go to 3 and read verse 1. Because this is going to show you how the parties is in and who's involved and why what's happening to them. We have to look up and say, damn, like what's happening to y'all, you know, is the same thing that happened to us. Matter of fact, it's the same thing that y'all did to us. And it's going to show us that. Read 3 and 1.
Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
So when all Israel's coming together, it's a future prophecy. Read on.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Jehoshaphat means judgment. He's going to bring all the nations into the valley of judgment and do what? Read.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel.
He says Israel is his heritage. Ain't that something? The Most High claims the lineage and heritage of Israel, not no other nation. That's how special the children of Israel. That's how special we are to the Most High. He says, but he's going to bring all nations to judgment. And he's going to start naming out all their crimes they did against the children of Israel. And they're going to have to pay for it. You understand? So the Most High is not having mercy on them. And these things right now that they're doing to themselves are all straws in the Most High's plan to overthrow them, to give Israel the kingdom. We have to see that. Okay, read on.
Whom they have scattered among the nations.
See, they scattered Israel among the nations. Read.
and parted my land.
Now, that's important. How they parted the land, because that's what the whole Middle East conflict is about. Here it is. You had that land belonging to the children of Israel at one point, our land, right? We had to go into captivity. So in 70 AD was the last time as a nation we existed there. So that left the land open for nations to come in.
Yep.
Who came in? A lot of the Arabs. Esau, the Romans, they came in at one point. But then you got to remember, during the time of Islam, the Muslims came in, the Arabs, and they ran a lot of the Edomites out of that land. Okay? And there was war there. So you had the which were at that point, a lot of the Edomites were Christians or claiming to be Christians or what have you. So you had Muslims and Christians in the land of Israel. Then you fast forward to some time later, 1948, is when Israel was given the green light, or the Israelis, the fake Jews, was given that permission to go back to Israel and claim that land. And that's what started everything. Because now you got all the Arabs and what have you that was there, and the people living in the land tripping, saying, well, hold up, wait a minute. What's up with that? That's when Gamal Nasser stood up. You had the 6-Day War. He was like, hey, hold up. No, we got more right to the land. We've been here. How they going to come back? They're not even the Jews. This is what he was saying. So you have this conflict and this back and forth all the time. Well, it's our land. No, it ain't. It's our land. It's our land. No, it's not. It's our land. And it's neither one of their lands. But then you had all the other guys that got involved. America had to get involved. Britain got involved. Russia got involved. And they started to divide the land up so that they can try to keep some peace over there. So they said, hey, you know what? Give them this. You know, the Arabs and all that. You can have this part of it. Divided east and west and all of that. Here, let them thrive there. This part can be Islamic. And we're talking about Jerusalem, where none of those doctrines are supposed to be. But they tried to do something to try to keep some peace in there. So this is what it meant. They parted my land, because the land was supposed to be given to the children of Israel. But they divided it up, and you got a portion of them into Islam, a portion into Judaism, another portion into Christianity, all divided up, trying to claim the land as their own. And they keep overstepping each other's bounds, and that's what keeps these conflicts going on. But technically, it's not none of theirs. You're fighting and arguing over something that don't belong to you. And now the judgment is starting to come, and this is the plan of the Most High. So he says he's going to bring them down to the valley of judgment and start to plead with them for what they've done to the children of Israel. He says, because they parted my hair and they scattered my people among the nations and parted my land. They divided it up. That's why you got Gaza, and you got these other, these other parts of it in Lebanon and Palestine. All of these particular little areas that they tried to designate to try to keep them in these places and make them happy, but it ain't working. But read on.
And it says, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people.
See, they cast lots. What are lots? Bargaining. Like rolling dice, pulling straws for my people. Who gonna get them first? Which one of the nations want the Israelites first? This is what they're talking about. Slave auctions and stuff like that. Read on.
It says, and have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot.
See, make our men into young sex toys.
Wow.
And he's going to tell you who's involved. This is why you can't be tripping off of what's happening. Read on.
It says, having given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine.
See, they were selling our children. A boy for a harlot and a girl for wine. That's what they were worth. Read.
That they might drink.
Read on. Watch this. Now, this is who involved. Read.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
See, Tyre and Zidon is talking about the Hamitic kingdoms that occupied that land at the time. But now, that land that's known as Tyre and Zidon is now known as Lebanon. Okay? Fighting in all this conflict. But watch this. So we can fast forward that to be Muslims, or we can fast forward that to be the Africans of the past. They both guilty, because they both came into the land and they've treated the children of Israel the same wicked manner. Read on.
It says, and all the coast of Palestine.
Well, who occupies the coast of Palestine? The Arabs. Y'all see that? So you have the Africans, or the Hamitic children that once occupied Tyre and Zidon, then they got pushed out by the Arabs deeper into Africa. And in Palestine, which was originally the land of the Philistines, that's where the term Palestine comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And now they occupy that land, the Arabs. Read on.
Will ye render me a recompense?
So what can they possibly say to the Most High for the wickedness that they done to the children of Israel? I'm sorry. Lord said, if they say that, what is he going to do?
It says, and if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Most High said, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. All I want to know in here is are you guilty? And now receive the punishment that's coming to you. Read on.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold.
Because see, this is what happened. When the children of Israel left, these nations moved in. They took over the temple. They took over the land. All the houses and areas and things that Israel once possessed, now they possess it. See what's going on? So they took all of these things, read.
And have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
See, they went and took the things of Israel that the Most High sanctified, and they came in and brought them into their temples of their wicked gods.
Mm-hmm.
Read on.
We are in the book of Joel, chapter 3. Now we started at 1. Now we're at verse 6. All right.
Now watch this. So you had the African nations and the Arabs, Tyre, Zidon, Palestine, the Africans and the Arabs. Okay. Read on. So don't think the Africans are off the hook, because no, that's why they got a lot of conflict going on in their areas in Libya and all these Egypt and those places like that. Even in Nigeria, what was going down in South Africa. Oh, they got a lot to pay for too. And the Arabs as well. Because what did they do? Watch this.
Joel chapter 3 verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem.
What did they do? To meet the Israelites, both northern and southern kingdom, what did they do?
Have ye sold unto the Grecians.
So the Africans and the Arabs came together to sell the children of Israel to the Edomites, or the so-called white man. Those are the Grecians. That's your triangular slave trade right there.
That's it. That's everybody.
So they sold us, afflicted us, went and claimed our land because we was in bondage. Mm-hmm. And you think the Most High not holding them accountable? So when we see what's happening, all we got to say is, hey,
yep.
Sorry. Don't want to be you, but sorry. Yep. But again, let's check the records. The Most High said, I ain't forgiven. He said, they can't give him a recompense. That means there's nothing they can say. There's no apologies. There's no reward. Nothing they can say to justify what they did to his children. Mm-hmm. So now he's bringing judgment upon them. And that's what you're starting to see, the preliminary parts of that. Okay, read on. Watch this.
It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border.
See that? So they were already pushed out of Israel, but then when they fled into Africa and parts of Asia Minor, they were gathered, shipped up, and shipped farther away. Now, that's how a lot of them came to the Americas. Mm-hmm. Remove them far from their border. These are the culprits. These are the ones that's conspiring in our land. And guess what? Because the rightful children is not in that holy land, it's always conflict there. That's why the Most High don't have them having no peace over there.
Yep. No peace.
That's it. He said, that's my children's land. Keep fighting, keep killing each other until my people get in there, then we're going to have it right. Mm-hmm. Read on.
It says, verse 7, behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them.
See that? Now, how are we not being raised up now? Mm-hmm. Yep. See, we were sold into the Americas. We were sold into the islands in South America, the Caribbean, Central America, and all these places, in all the four corners of the earth. We're waking up to our nationality now. Thus, that's prophecy. You see the characters. That's how specific the Bible is. Mm-hmm. The Most High gives you the characters. He gives you timelines. He's showing you the nations involved. He's using geography. And this is prophecy. This was written before it happened. Mm-hmm. See, that's why no book could come up against this. That's why they want to keep this suppressed, because they know the power in it. Mm-hmm. You understand? If it wasn't that, why they over there fighting for the land?
Man, if it wasn't real.
You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't just
every single war we done had since the Templar Knights with the Islamic expansion. So like in what is that? That's 7th century AD, right? So from the 6th century AD, where the Islamic expansion and then the Byzantine War, right? They've been fighting that same war for thousands, like hundreds of years. And to this day, right now, we're still fighting the same war for that land. Well, they are not we. Well, we're fighting it for the Most High, but they're fighting, and all the allies that are in the world today, you either on Israel is the fake Israel side, or you on the Arabic side. And it's crazy because all of the people that's the main characters in the war, all were direct descendants of Abraham that missed the blessing. Man. Ishmael missed the blessing, he fighting for the land. Edom missed the blessing, he fighting for the land. Israel got the blessing, we in the land of our captives.
Ain't that something?
Ain't that something?
Man.
Man,
that's crazy, man.
You can't make the Bible, man.
Yeah, who say you can't make this
You
up?
can't make this up, man.
Yeah, that's real. This is why our book is our history. This is our legacy. This is real. So we have the answers to the test. All we have to do is just, follow what the Most High said. Mm-hmm. That's our struggle. That's the war we have, is war with self. Mm-hmm. While they're over there living out their physical things and trying to take over what's not going to be theirs, it's not going to them. They're not going to have it. Mm-hmm. Even if they gain possession of it, it's only going to be for a minute, temporarily, and then we taking it back. They're going to take it up. They're going to take it. They're going to fight over it. Somebody's going to achieve it. The Most High is going to have them clean it up, and it's going to be handed to us. Do y'all see the game? So why we don't have no business? We don't even need to worry about that. It's just, again, another reminder of us to show that, hey, anything can happen, and we need to stay alert. Absolutely. We need to stay ready, like the scripture the brother brought up. What did Christ say? He said, I come as a thief. He said, if we had known, if the good man of the house had known at which hour the thief had came in, he would have watched and never had his house broken into. Mm-hmm. But since you won't know, check it out. When they say you stay ready, you never have to get ready. Mm-hmm. That's what the Most High is showing us. So that's what we have to do. That's our mission. Stay ready. It's nothing. We can't stop what's going on over there. It's going to do it. It's going to happen. Whoever's going to get involved, the nations and all the politics involved, it's going to happen regardless. That's not our fight. Our fight is this. Mm-hmm. Our fight is coming together. And once we come together, the Most High is going to guide us into who we need to take down next to get our kingdom. Mm-hmm. Because now we're in order. We're under his command and we're under his protection. Mm-hmm. You understand? Finish reading that in verse 8. Finish 7.
Verse 7. So Joel chapter 3, verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whether ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head.
See that? So we're going to be raised up. They're going to get punished. Drop down. Let's read verse 9.
Verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war.
See, prepare peace.
Prepare war.
War is inevitable. At this point, we showed you the timelines. We've shown you, we've read the scriptures. We're showing you what's coming. You're seeing what's happening. There's no denying that. It's nothing you can do. It's going to happen. It's not going to just go away. And if that part of it goes away, guess what? So another one's going to ignite somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be more pestilence. It's going to be more famine. It's going to be more war. It's going to be more problems. Like I said, check that list of wars out from 2000 to 2023. And look at all the different wars and look at all who's involved. You can check. Just go on the internet and type that in and just look at it. Just look at it for a minute and watch. You're going to be blown away because there's a lot of stuff you haven't even heard of. And then when you see those wars, research those. Read on.
It says, verse 8, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it.
So their children will be sold just like ours was sold. Read on, verse 9.
Verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
See, that's what's happening now. That's when it says, let the weak say I'm strong. This is talking about the nations that's rising up. Mm-hmm. See, that's where you get these insurgents. And these are just people that are insurgent. It's more so like a rebellion or a revolutionary, so to speak. Mm. And they rise up. Okay. That's how you get Hamas. That's what they were. Okay. Al Qaeda and these things that you hear about, and these little Taliban and stuff like that. So these are those that said, hey, you know what? We're fighting for what we believe, and these groups form. Okay, and they make weapons out of anything. You understand? And that's what it says. Beat your plowshares into weapons and all that. They make sword. They get out there and get some steel and just beat it up and make a sword. This is how it is because they weren't given weapons like a lot of the nations and what have you. But now that these other nations are jumping in, these bigger brothers, so to speak, or allies, now they're funding them and giving them weapons to fight. So that lets you know that there's obviously an advantage. Someone's going to finance your war and give you weapons. That means there's something for them to gain from that. So that's why you got to look at these situations because America is aligned with the Israelis. Russia's aligned with Iran. You understand? So when you start to see how Iran and all these people may get involved because Saudi Arabia and Iran are mortal enemies. So when you see how these things start to formulate and the politics involved, you know, just take notice of that, but it doesn't stop what we have to do. Okay? Read on.
Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Y'all see that? Most High is telling them, wake up. Bring your weapons and all that. It's time to get it on.
Come get these hands.
See, that's our God. He's like, bring it.
Come get these hands. Yeah?
Bring your nukes. Bring it, your hydrogen. Bring all your subsonic frequency warfare. Bring your germ warfare. Bring whatever you got. Bring it. That's what the Most High is saying. That's the Most High boasting in his power now. He's saying, Most High is like, I've been quiet for a long time, but you know what? Now you're going to know that I'm the Lord. You're going to know there's one God, and he's the mighty Yahweh. That's it. There's nothing more that can be done about that. And we got to get on that Father's. We got to get on our Father's page. Y'all understand?
Yeah.
That's all I got on that.
All praises, man.
Nah, I'm good.
All praises, Israel, man. Me and the elder, we went. All praises. Let me get a hand clap to the elder real quick.
All praise to the Most High, ain't me, man. You too,
for that mighty lesson, man. And all praises, of course, all honors to the Most High and His Son Yahweh Shai. We thank the Most High for allowing us to be used as a vessel to bring out this word. We continue to pray and hope that we are kept in this walk and that the Most High doesn't do away with our spirit. We continue to pray for all our people out there, for the 661 people that's in this chat. We pray for you guys to continue to endure, to continue to stay strong and don't waver, don't lose the faith. Some will fall, some will waver and go away from the faith. But we pray that all the 662 people in here now, we stay strong, and the Most High continues to guide us. We want to say, forgive us for our sins and the sins of our forefathers. Allow us to be forgiven in our weakened state, this wicked, evil flesh, which I hate personally, and I'm pretty sure everybody can say they hate it as well. So we just want to say we pray for all Israel, the true Israelites. Pray for Israel. Hashtag pray for the true Israelites.
That's right.
Pray for the Hebrew Israelites. So we love you guys, man. We'll be back. We'll be back with some more classes. We'll be back. The elder will be back here, Most High willing, next Friday, 8 o'clock. And man, join us tomorrow. We got class tomorrow. We'll have class at 7 o'clock, bringing in our new moon in the evening. So yes, our new moon will be tomorrow night. We will have class and fellowship tomorrow at 7. Also, I just want to put this out here. If you are in the Bay Area, we will be in the Bay Area on the 21st. All right, on the 21st of October, we will be in the Bay Area. If you are in the Bay Area, please email us at believersoftheway 144k @gmail.com. Believersoftheway 144k @gmail.com. We will be in the Bay Area. We will be having a keynote speaking event. So it'll be a live presentation event. The event will be called The Answer to the Why. Why is this happening to us? Why are we going through the things we're going through? It's going to be hosted and by myself, and we'll have refreshments and we'll have fellowship there. So that is if you're in the Bay Area. If you are not in the Bay Area, this will be something that we plan on doing long term. So we're going to hit the Bay Area first with this event, then we're going to come to Cali with this event, and then after Cali, Our plan is to hit Texas, all right? Specifically the Dallas, Texas area, and then from the Dallas Texas area, we plan on taking this event statewide, all right? So if you are in the Bay Area, please email us. Our email is on the screen. If you want more information, we also have the flyer. Up. If you go to our comment section and let me share the screen just to show it real quick. Then we'll get out of here. Let me share the screen. Okay. All right. All right. Let me just pull it up. All right. So, boom, just so we can show. So all our events we definitely will. So here it is, the flyer right here. All right. Rata Speaks, the answer to the why, October 21st. The time will be from 1 to 4. And this is the address here. We'll be in Oakland, California. After this event, we plan on, like I said, hosting it in LA, Los Angeles. And then after Los Angeles, we plan on hosting it in Dallas, Texas. So here's the flyer. So if anybody's in the Oakland area, Sacramento area, Bay Area, come down and fellowship with us at that time. All right. And like I said, we plan on doing this statewide. All right. All praises. So yeah, all praises. Other than that, everybody stay safe, blessed, and until next time, Israel, we love you. Shalom, family.
Shalom, Israel. Kwame Yashala.
Oh, and real quick, I'm sorry. We will be in the South. Don't worry. True royalty. Stay tuned. The South is our next. The South is one of our next biggest markets, so we will be there in the South. All right. So, shalom. Wait. People asking question. Oh, Khan. Somebody said that's your area. Man, please come out. If that's your area, come fellowship with us. We'll be out there, and that address. Go to the fly right there, and send the address. Somebody else also said find the 2009 audio. Don't have the videos. Trying to figure out how to send. I did find the 2019 audios. Oh, okay. Do you, sister Dinah? Do you have the email? Can you please email us so I can get your contact number? If you have a husband, can you have your husband email me? Let me go ahead and put the email back on the screen for you. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about some footage that you have of me that was lost. Absolutely. I definitely would love that. Hold on one second. Salakia. Here it is. So if you could please email me so I could go ahead and give you my contact information. If you have a king, give it to him, and then we can touch bases, and then we could try to get that. All right. Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. So email me tonight so I can email you back. All right. Other than that, man, please come out. And support us if you're in the Bay Area. All right. All right, family. Shalom. Love y'all. Have a blessed night. Shalom, family. Shalom, Israel.